I am Liz Mwange, and I'm a YELP fellow from the class of 2017. I'm also a board member of the Leo Africa Institute, which is the institution that organizes the Young and Emerging Leaders Project. So today we are going to have a reunion seminar here in Nairobi. It's going to be a hybrid event, and we're looking at engaging and reconnecting because when we go through the fellowships in the different years we've gone through them, we get to meet together in Uganda and have the sessions there, go through the readings. But here it's going to be the first time that it's happening outside of Uganda, in Nairobi, and it's going to be a hybrid event. So we're very excited that we were given that opportunity to be able to plan this event together with the Leo Africa Institute team. So the program for the day is going to be a mix of things. So first of all, we'll start with hearing from our fellows. They'll be showcasing what they've been doing, and maybe also just tapping into how their leadership journey has gone since they took their fellowship in Uganda. And we have fellows from the class of 2017, 2018, and 2019. In addition to that, we'll have the readings. So the readings are a very critical part of the program because the reflections come from the readings, the discussions come from the readings. From reading and learning from different authors, you get to really understand what they're trying to bring out in you as an individual, and that will help with the reflections. Thereafter, in the afternoon, we're going to have a very powerful speaker, Dr. Rosie Lore. She's a professional coach, but she's had such a very strong career and she's also managed quite a lot of transitions, both personally in her life as well as in her career. So the day is going to be centered around those three areas, and we're going to be able to, by the end of the day, close down on the session and then have a networking event at the end of the day.
The fellowship program of YELP has taught us something, but now it's the moment for us to reflect and see if at all going through the fellowship program has helped us to transit to something different, or we were able to achieve, we were able to learn something in the process. Do we feel different from who we were before? Like now it's 2021. Do I feel different from when I started the fellowship in 2019 and saw someone else in 2018 and 2017? Do we think we're better now? Like, are we better version of ourselves from where we were before? And do we feel improved? Like, has something improved? And what about rediscovering our purpose? Have we rediscovered it? Do we have a different objective right now? Has it changed from how it was before? Or we are having the same objective and purpose of our lives, and we're still going through it? Are we lost? Or are we found?
I think when the author here was talking about the use of old and frozen thought, he was telling us to change our mindset, to change how we are looking at things, to change how we approach situation and how we approach life, because those old and frozen thoughts are no longer useful.
I have my mantra. Every morning when I wake up, I say, first things first, I always have to learn something new. If I haven't learned something new in that day, then that day is useless. Another thing is I have to impact someone positively. And impacting someone positively does not mean I have to go and take sugar or millions of dollars to someone, even if it's as much as saying a hello to a stranger, someone I don't know, and then I see them smile. I could be the only one who has said hello to that person. So for me, that is really, really, really important. And it doesn't matter how small it is, I need to learn something new every day. I need to teach something to someone, and then I need to impact someone positively. My mantra. And that is my mantra. That's what I live by. My personal purpose. I need to ensure that young people own this narrative and own it the right way and do things in a sustainable manner, so that we can have an Africa, we can have a world that we are proud of. We've made our mistakes. It's our job to help you not to make those same mistakes again.
One of the best lessons of leadership that I ever had in my life was to become a father. Because suddenly, you are given a responsibility to nurture and raise a person that has to be a good citizen. not only a good child for you and your wife and the family, but a good citizen. And it's a heavy responsibility that unfortunately many parents either struggle to cope with for a number of reasons or decide not to engage with it. When we expect society to be better, it means that we need to help children become better. And it was amazing for me to be that father, because suddenly you have that young human being that cannot necessarily express herself with words, but as a parent, you have to be able to hear what she needs, understand what she needs, and that is a great lesson in terms of patience and probably endurance too. When you think about every single experience that you had in your life, don't discount any of these experiences because they build character, they train you for endurance, and as you do all these things, your thread, in my view, must remain integrity. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosie Lore. I am a leadership coach, a catalyst and a connector, and I'm here to speak to the YELP fellows at their reunion at the Serena Hotel in Nairobi. And I'm really, really looking forward to sharing my story as a way to inspire and perhaps give hope where there is no hope. These have been difficult times, and today what I want to speak about is how to build leadership skills that can help through the transitions that the leaders face. So I'm looking forward to it, and let's get into it. So I'm all about inspiring courage and expanding people's possibilities. This is why I work in leadership development. That's what I'm here to do. Where I do it, the platforms I do it could be on a job, could be in a project, but that is why I'm here. So find your why. That why will remind you when things are going topsy-turvy. The pandemic was a very good example. When the storms come, your why, your purpose keeps you going. I'll give you an example that the high energy group, my business partners and I were very clear when the pandemic hit. We didn't even blink. When everything was uncertain, volatile, everything was just, it's a VUCA reality. We didn't blink. We picked up the phones, we called all our clients, we reached out to them and said, how can we serve you? We were very clear. I don't care what your bank statement reads right now. This is not the time to think about money. How can I serve you? Because it was such a beautiful opportunity to help people adjust the sails. John C. Maxwell says, there are three types of people. The pessimist, right? What does the pessimist say? He complains about the wind, the VUCA wind that came in. The pessimist just complains. Did you hear people just complaining through a pandemic? The optimist hopes that it's going to change. Very optimistic. Things will be better. But the leader adjusts the sails. So we went out and said, how can we serve you? My business partner and I thrived through the pandemic because we have never been busier. We said, listen, serve. Right now, our calling is to serve because our mandate is to raise leaders, whether it's COVID or not. We didn't care about their bank statements. We said, what is your need? We served. We were so busy. That's what keeps you anchored, your purpose. It's been such a lit session. The fellows received what it is I had to share with them really, really with open hearts. I think we had a really, really vulnerable session. I felt really free to share my story. I'm a big believer that when you share your story very vulnerably, you then help other people to be vulnerable. So one of the things that I gave the fellows to take away with after sharing my story as, a takeaway are 3 Ps. And these are 3 Ps that you can help, that help to anchor and propel you at these times of transition in your life. And the 3 Ps are purpose, people, and promise. So very, very quickly, I'll run through them. Purpose is your mission, your raison d'être, your philosophy. What is it that gets you out of bed every day? What is your assignment on this earth? Why did you come here? What is it that you're here to do? Having your anchor front and center keeps you going, even in the most difficult times as we are going through now and have come out through. In periods of VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous seasons like we've seen with the coronavirus, it's very important to be anchored and propelled by your purpose. The people part is all about the fact that we are born to be in relationship. You can't do very much in this world alone. So you need to find your people. And when I say people, I mean the right people. The people who cheer you on, the people who call you out of your BS, the people who will hold a mirror up for you and really tell you the things you need to hear. Sometimes you need to be told who you really are as a way to encourage you. Sometimes you need to be called up to your BS. And so you need to find your people. I call it your tribe. Find your people, because the best of us is a very self-critical person, and you need others to cheer you on. And finally, promises. I use promises to anchor me. I'm a believer in Christ, and I really believe that what anchors me, what keeps me going, even in my darkest hour, are promises that I have from the Word of God. And one of those is, I will never leave you nor forsake you. The other one that I really love is from Jeremiah 29:11 that says, I have a plan for you, a good plan, to give you a future, a successful and prosperous future. And so whatever it is for you that anchors you, whatever promises there are, it could be a poem, it could be something a father, grandfather, a partner said to you. Whatever those promises are, use those to anchor you, to propel you at times when things are really shaky or at those darkest moments in your life. So remember the 3 P's: purpose, people, and promises.
Wow, what a beautiful experience. It went way over, above, and beyond my expectations. I think today has been absolutely beautiful. And from time to time, I would just pause and reflect upon my own life and the journey that I'm on currently. And what amazes me about the fellowship is how divine, it cannot be, this is not human. The interconnectedness of every discussion we've had today, from the beginning, from yesterday to today's reading, and how they resonate with all the speakers and all the participants was beautiful. I think it was wonderful when we started the conversation, and Beverly, who was one of the moderators, asked us to raise our hands if we are at a point where we want to start or to venture into something new or something different. And having that conversation, and then moving on to the last session where we hosted Rosie, and hearing her echoing similar remarks, her story resonating with the text of the day, I think it was powerful and beautiful. And this speaks to the reason as to why I'm so proud to belong to the YELP Fellowship and to the Leo Africa Institute family, is the realness. It's that we strip ourselves of any titles that we have, and we come into the room as one. And that honesty and the rawness and the heart and the love that exists is so beautiful and powerful. And I love that everything that was discussed today is also speaking to my life and the steps that I want to take. It was as though God brought me here today, and I believe that there was a reason for it happening, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us. So this today has been wonderful, and I'm still going to internalize, and then I can be able to put it in words. But it's been absolutely beautiful. It blew my mind away. It was nothing like I had expected. It was way more better. And I thank the Leo Africa Institute for continuously investing in us, for creating these platforms that allow us to be ourselves and speak in our truths. I think my key takeaway is that I must put myself first. I have nothing against you. I'm just choosing me, and I'm just putting myself first. And that's what I want to leave the room with. And of course, the 3 Ps, purpose, promise, and I want to hold these words dear to my heart. Thank you.
Well, among the key highlights over the last 2 days were 2 particularly rich conversations. One by Dr. Rosie Lore that we had this afternoon on the importance of courage and why fear is an impediment to many of us in leadership. The other was yesterday's conversation with the Institute Board Chair, Carl Manlan, again around the same themes: courage, what true leadership means, but also why transition is important, especially for leaders. I enjoyed the moderation by some of our fellows and alumni of the program. In particular, I enjoyed the session by Beverly earlier today and Fatma. And for me and for many of us at the Leo Africa Institute, this gives us hope, because the success of the program can only depend on us having a transition, not just amongst the new fellows and coming in and leaving, but also seeing the fellows graduate from just being fellows and alumni to being part of the Institute faculty that delivers some of these important seminars. So yeah, the key takeaway for me was to see our fellows and now alumni take on that mantle to be faculty leaders.
The highlight for me was number one, the poem on new beginnings. The reason why it was so important is because there it validated the journey. It's not like you'll wake up one day and really understand why you're thinking about changing into a certain direction, and it's gonna take a series of discussions with yourself before you're able to make that move. So I really liked the New Beginnings poem because it sort of validated that it's a process and validated that you'll probably take time to be able to get to understand what your new path to growth will be. So I really liked that poem, but I also loved the session that we had with Dr. Rosie, and also just understanding what it takes to find your courage, what it takes to sustain your leadership, being in that leadership journey. And I think the 3 Ps: people, purpose, promise, very important. And I think just also talking to yourself in the mirror, I didn't understand the importance of it, but hearing it from her in a very different dimension really signifies that talking to yourself has some importance. So I think I like the fact that she was able to bring out and show us and give us practical tools on how to move forward, which I will be applying and seeing how my journey will grow.